You mentioned in your remarks at Charlie's funeral that, you pointed out the irony that the accused shooter is exactly the kind of person who Charlie meant to help.
Yes.
And that's kind of what he dedicated his life to doing.
He did.
Is trying to reach disaffected young men who had been forgotten by a system, or worse than forgotten, remembered and told that they're terrible and to blame for everything.
Right.
And those messages for years now have really materially, seriously affected the health and mental well-being of a generation of young men who need Turning Point.
Yeah.
And so that's a huge responsibility for you. Like, it's not just, oh, we have a great political organization and it's a really big thing and people love it. You actually have to go about the business of saving an entire generation, in particular of young men, but young women too. How are you going to do that? I mean, I think everybody wants to know, without Charlie, how are you going to do that?
A few things. First, Charlie would say, I want to save the lost boys of the West. That was on he had a to-do list, and that was on the top point of the to-do list. That he has that piece of paper still on his desk at his office. But what's so powerful about all of this is that Charlie was so focused on the family. He didn't believe that it was up to the government to raise your kids. He wanted to not only empower the students, but also the parents. And something that you've done so beautifully, Megyn, is that your children, you've raised them with the truth and understanding the importance of loving this country. You might not agree with everything that the government does. That's life. It's the government. But you still love this country. And so your babies even started Turning Point chapters. But it's also because you as a parent saw how important that was. And I think that's what's so special about Turning Point USA, is that when we have these events, especially America Fest, it is so family oriented. We're not out there trying to raise your kid. We're trying to reaffirm what you've been telling them this whole time. We're trying to reaffirm to them that there is a space for you. We are here for the civil discourse. We are here for the debates. We are here for the dialogue. We are here for the freedom of speech. That's our role. Save Western civilization. But what Charlie loved, and him being a parent also, was that he wanted to inspire the parents to show their kids what true north is, and then say, you have a home at Turning Point that will help fuel that even more. And so that's how I view us being able to help.
Charlie spoke very frankly to young men. He did it on my show many times. And one of my favorite clips of him is the dating advice one. Right? Do you know the clip I mean? Where he said, you got to pay on the first date to the guys. When you are courting a woman, he said, when you are courting, yes. He was very sweet to those guys. He said, you seem like nice guys, but it's absolutely ridiculous that you're talking about not paying.
Right.
So let me ask you the other side of it. What's your advice to young women who get asked out by young men?
Well, stay away from hookup culture. Don't just date to date. If a guy wants to take you to drinks instead of dinner, that's a huge red flag. If they don't want to go to church with you and have brunch afterwards, another huge red flag. Don't introduce them to your family until you know without a shadow of a doubt that might be the man that you're going to marry. And don't treat your boyfriend like your husband. Don't treat your boyfriend like your fiance. Treat them like your boyfriend. Treat your fiance like your fiance and your husband like your husband. And I think that when you stay focused on the Lord and the lane that He has you in, which is a stream of significance, keep swimming in that. The man that's supposed to be with you will not detract you from the Lord. He'll enhance your focus on the Lord. And He will help be there to build with you, to love on you, to be there for your family. He won't tear you away from your family. He won't challenge your beliefs in a way that makes you question the Lord and what you know in your heart to be true. He'll love you so well, just like my Charlie did. And He'll be a compliment to you in such a beautiful way. and you'll be equally yoked, where you're not having to compete and you're not having to strive. The two of you are in lockstep and you're building something beautiful for the kingdom, and it's powerful.
If I could, just a quick addendum. Don't be a slut.
Right.
Just
that too.
note to
Right.
self.
Note to self. Right.
All right, now in the time we have left, I've got to ask you this. Turning Point played a massive role in the past election, in the presidential election.
So
Massive
amazing.
role.
I know.
And so we have to talk about what Turning Point may or may not do in 26, and most importantly in 28, and why is it get behind J.D. Vance?
Let's start with midterms first before we start jumping to 28, and let's enjoy the fact that we do have Donald Trump in office, and we worked really
Yes,
hard.
let's enjoy that
We
fact.
worked really hard to make that happen. My husband did. So I just want to enjoy that for a minute before we start jumping ahead. But my husband, like I said, built a machine. And some of the secret sauce within that was that he loved the students, but also he loved empowering them to know that they could make a difference and how important voting was. And when you see these pictures of him when he first started Turning Point USA, he was so bought into his own mission. He wasn't, in an office cubicle while the students were out in an event. He was there wearing his lanyard with his little name tag and a Big Gov Sucks button and Socialism Sucks button. And he believed in the mission so much. And for a lack of a better term, he knew that the unsexy work was what it took to save elections, which is tennis shoes and clipboards, and speaking to your neighbors, knocking on doors, being involved with your community, not being afraid to explain to people why you believe what you believe. And nothing is changing at Turning Point USA or Turning Point Action. If anything, it's just continuing to grow. I mean, you've seen the numbers of how many chapters and churches, and it's been phenomenal. And yes, there is a structure of quality over quantity, but the 26 midterms, obviously we'll be focusing heavily on Arizona. It's our home state. But the thing I love the most, especially about, and if you guys have ever been to our campus, if you have not, I really suggest you come by. We have a building that's specifically for the Turning Point Action building. And it is one of my favorite buildings to go into because I feel the heartbeat of Charlie in there from a strategy standpoint, because it's like a war room in there. They have the polling and they have the strategy laid out and they have the door knockers. It's really, really powerful to witness. And I can just see Charlie being like, knock on that one more door, talk to that neighbor one more time. And so we are thrilled to be able to still make massive impacts and inroads with the upcoming elections. And the team that Charlie built, I tell you what, I would bet on them any
Bet on
day,
them.
always.
I mentioned JD, you mentioned Trump. Can you just give us a minute on them? Because from afar, it has looked like they've been so there for you.
Yes.
And I don't think most people were surprised to see JD do it, but everyone says Trump has no empathy. He's a nasty guy. He's a mean guy. He's a Nazi. Pick your term. I saw him with you at the Presidential Medal of Freedom when he awarded it to Charlie posthumously. Can you just tell us a little bit about how they've been behind the scenes in this whole thing?
Charlie and President Trump had a really special relationship. It was one that some people would understand, others wouldn't. Sometimes it was fatherly son, but at other times it was this mutual deep respect of being able to build in a way where Trump understood building in Manhattan and building, across the country and across the world architecturally. And Charlie understood building with Turning Point USA and his ability to see things that other people couldn't really see, especially in other people. But what Charlie really appreciated about President Trump is that no matter what anyone says about him, he is so mission focused. He's so laser focused, and Charlie was the same way. And he admired so much the president's tenacity to keep going, especially after January 6th, when no one wanted anything to do with him. And Charlie said, "I got your back," and he meant it. And moments like that really put into perspective the human aspect of politics. You can go down the rabbit hole of slandering someone, but at the end of the day, when it's all said and done, the most important thing is that you realize that we're all just doing our best here with our one life that we have. And the president was so good to Charlie from the standpoint of, he didn't look down to Charlie. He appreciated his ability to be able to mobilize the youth, but also to share the message of how amazing the country we live in. Yes, we have faults. Anything with humans have faults. We're all sinful. But he appreciated that Charlie was always there for him, and he was always there for Charlie. And the president has always had a very soft spot in my heart, because I got to witness that he wasn't just the president to my husband. He was a friend. And I'll never forget that.
Yeah. And JD and Usha have been incredibly supportive. It's been really nice to see. And,
Yes, they
and
have.
I look forward to you guys throwing the full weight of Turning Point behind them in about 3 years. Am I being subtle?
No,
I'm not.
don't worry,
not being
it's already,
subtle.
It's in
All
the
right.
works. But that
Here-
was a thing that my husband was very direct about. It was, interestingly enough, one of the last few conversations we had was how intentional he was about supporting JD for 28.
Yeah, he was totally behind JD. And he was largely
100%.
responsible for Trump picking JD.
That's true.
Okay, here's another one. Charlie said on the record, Erika is way more conservative than I am. Way more. How so?
Well, first and foremost, we were always very in alignment with, obviously, a lot of things. But there were certain things where we made sure that I was a little in the beginning, and Andrew Colvett can attest to this. It was an immigration side of things that I had a different viewpoint on. And then he was like, I see that point. It was a long time ago with student visa related topics. And, but other than that, we were in alignment with a lot of things. I was just a little bit more direct behind the scenes about it, but we were always in lockstep with one another. But
So people hoping for a turning point to go conservative light now that...
that's not happening.
Okay.
No, we are not. Turning Point USA is not becoming feminized, let me tell you that. That is not going to happen.
Awesome.
Never, no.
My friend just lost her ring. She went to replace it. She realized it was a gold ring. The price of it has gone up like 25% since she bought the ring a year ago. That's because gold is on the march upward. And it is the one time of year that Birch Gold Group gives away free gold with every qualifying purchase. That's right, for Black Friday, when you convert an existing IRA or 401k into a tax-sheltered IRA in gold, Birch Gold will send free gold to your home for every $20,000 purchased. Gold started this year around $2,600 an ounce. By October, it was over $4,000 an ounce. Why? Global uncertainty. 2025 has been defined by trade wars, central banks are pulling from the US dollar as the global reserve currency, and military tension continues to build. Gold thrives in times of uncertainty, and if you are looking to diversify your savings, Birch Gold can help you. Plus, now through November 30th, get free gold, I say, with a qualifying purchase. Just text MK to the number 989898 to claim your eligibility and for a free info kit on gold. But your opportunity for free gold with purchase will end on November 30th, so don't wait. Text MK to the number 989898 for full details. Message and data rates may apply. Thanks so much for watching. If you like what you just saw, hit the subscribe button for more clips and full episodes.